What's up, guys? Today I'm doing something different. I'm not going to actually be doing a teaching on something. I'm just doing like an encouraging message, and I mean, it's somewhat of a teaching. It's definitely educational. It's just not the same style. So basically, you know, so many awesome things are like going on. Like Christians like all around the world are doing huge things, and like when I hear like people, you know, on the radio or whether it's like TV or just whatever, if they're like teachers or any of this stuff, like I hear like really often that people say, you know, most Christians don't do this right, or they're missing this, or you know, they're not like living up to their potential, and just a lot of things. And I'm just not sure where they get that from, because it's just not true. And you know, like another thing is like revivals. Like people say like, oh, we're having a revival, like, oh, like get all pumped up for, you know, next week's revival. We need revival. We're having revival, and you know, all of whatever, like Florida or just something like that. And you know, revival is great. Of course, it's needed sometimes, but I feel like, I mean, I'd say like half the people there, it's not that they need so much revival as like, you know, a revival type of thing, like event like that. They just need to, you know, like have a change in like the way that they think about themselves and their lives and everything like that. Because, you know, they could be really living for God and like walking with Him pretty closely, but yet, you know, they're just so messed up in their mind that, you know, they're focused on their little bit of mistakes, and they always get caught up in the mistakes. So it's the enemy lying to them, saying, you know, I mean, you know, like you need this, like you're not where you're supposed to be, you're not living your full potential. And I mean, it's just not true. Like revivals are great, but they're not always needed like that. And it's just, I mean, the news, like it has a bunch of wrongs like going on and stuff, and you might hear like pastors or something say like, well, did you ever watch the news and see all that? And they're like, well, where are all the Christians at in this? Well, the thing is, and I mean, the news like promotes what people want to see, what is entertaining to people. What they want to see is, you know, evil things more so than good things. I mean, people like to hear like, you know, stories about like pets being, you know, like saved, or like children being rescued, or just, you know, just good things like that, heartwarming things, but not so much as just all the good things. I mean, it's more entertaining, supposedly, I guess, to like see all the evil going wrong. It's kind of an exciting thing, I guess, whether like you know it or not. I mean, like why else would you watch the news? I mean, if you know it's going to be whatever 90% of evil, you know, negative stuff, I mean, why else are you watching it? I mean, that has to be why. So basically, you know, I'm in Mark chapter 8. Jesus was explaining what was going to happen to him, how he was going to suffer a bunch of terrible things and be killed, but 3 days later he would be resurrected. And Peter took him aside and he started rebuking him for saying such things. And Jesus replied with that you're seeing things merely from a human point of view, not from God's. You know, I'm not going to get too much into that, because I mean, you'll understand the point of what I'm getting at. It doesn't need to be like all, you know, the reason that he said that, but basically the parallel between what I'm talking about and what that scripture says is, well, evil, obviously, you know, it's not good, obviously, and not to encourage, you know, being passive about it, or, you know, not stepping forward and doing anything about all of these things. But the truth is that, I mean, there is going to be a lot of, you know, terrible things happening and stuff like that. You know, and that is, I mean, not just a human point of view. I mean, of course it's a, you know, a God point of view type of thing. But you have to realize that God has a perfect plan and purpose, and everything works out, and like the end, it's going to be like, it's just going to hit everyone, like, it's just going to be awesome. Like, everything that happens, all bad things, wrong things, it's not, I mean, of course it's evil, like, in the moment and stuff, but, you know, in the end, I mean, it's not like it turns into good, but it all works out for good. And it's like, everything happens according to God's plan. So, that was just a little kind of a side point, you know, of just, evil's going to be there. But focus on all the good things, and don't believe when people try to say, or, you know, they like, you know, kind of present it as if, you know, there's no good things really happening, and that's all there is, you know, terrible things happening, because it's not true. And, I mean, that's not even, my main point is not even just good versus evil. It's more so of, you know, where are the Christians at? You know, are they really doing anything? Are there any, you know, Christians nowadays, other than the people that you might see on TV, I mean, that are really like living, you know, God's perfect purpose and plan for their lives, and, you know, really making an impact? And like I said earlier, like, people will like present it like there's not, and they'll be like, well, where are all the Christians at? Or, you know, most people are missing this, or most people are missing this, and, you know, like, what's wrong with Christians nowadays? Like, we need revival. And I mean, where did they get those facts from? You know, like, all the statistics and stuff. I mean, if you were to interview, you know, 100 people, and, you know, 50 of those 100 people knew this, and then the other 50 didn't know, you can't say half Christians are missing, you know, this point, because that's completely unreliable. It's like, where do they get their statistics from? Like, my mom and I always say, like, well, we never got asked that question, you know, like, we never filled out that survey. You know, they never asked us about what's going on in our lives. I mean, you know, and, you know, like, I mean, people all over are really serving God. They're taking up their cross. They're in close fellowship with Him, personal relationship with Him. And, I mean, not apart from it. It's the same, you know, thing. But, you know, over here, they're also, I mean, they're making a huge impact. I mean, like, it's just incredible. And, you know, my main point is to just encourage all my brothers and sisters, all of you guys, to just keep pressing forth, and just don't fall for all that. There's all this evil and not all this good. You know, Christians nowadays are down here when they're supposed to be up here. That is all a lie. And I encourage you, not only those who, you know, hear that and believe that, but if you say anything like that, I mean, to just really stop doing that, because, I mean, unless you can really give solid evidence for something, and, I mean, even if you do, I mean, unless your judgment is going to bring, you know, good correction, you don't have to be like, why are you all missing this point, you know? So I just want to encourage you guys, you know, man, just don't listen to that stuff. There's so much incredible things going on, and people really are, you know, fully serving, fully diving into God's plan. And I mean, I just want to encourage you to do the same, and just stay positive about it and stuff. I mean, like, for example, my whole family, like, man, God is just moving in our whole family and stuff. I mean, it's just incredible. Like, recently I started doing teachings and stuff, which is a whole, you know, new level and stuff, and I didn't even plan to do it, and God just, you know, He just placed me into it and stuff through a conversation. You know, He spoke to me. He's like, yeah, you're ready to share that message that you just talked to this person about. And then from there, He ended up giving me more messages when I didn't even plan the first one, never mind, you know, a second and third. And I mean, it's just incredible. And you know, like, I just recently started skateboarding again, and I'm super excited about, you know, the impact God's going to make through my skateboarding and stuff. And I mean, I'm in no way boasting at all. I'm just trying to be encouraging, you know, to show you guys that, you know, your brother is really serving God. I mean, he's one of the many. And my dad, I mean, oh man, it's so awesome. Like, he works like 12-hour days. You have to understand, 12 hours is a long time. And, you know, from like 5:30 to 5:30. And then, you know, he's starting a puppet ministry in the church building that we go to. He's not, I mean, that requires practice after work. So whether it's, I don't know how many times he said he has to practice, maybe once or twice a week. I mean, whatever. But I mean, the fact that he's working 12 hours, and then he's going to come home and then go to the church building that we go to and like practice and stuff. And then when service comes, he's going to do that and stuff. I mean, that's just incredible. Like, God put this in his heart, and now he's doing it. He's taking up his cross too. He's not saying, well, I work so much, you know, it's going to stop there. You know, the rest of my time is about relaxing. He's not doing that. I mean, he's not even, after just a few times of doing that, he's planning on going out into, you know, more like the public and, you know, doing puppet shows there, and that's huge. And like my mom, like, she's attending small groups and a writer's class, and like, God's been giving her all these things, and she's working on all these different writings to write all these different books. And I mean, that's huge too. So I mean, my whole family, it's just one example. So I mean, I'm doing all these teachings and everything. Like, my life is all about serving Christ and serving you guys, which is kind of the same thing. And my dad, like, he works super hard, and he's a super awesome, you know, father figure to all of us. He works extremely hard. And then on top of that, you know, he's doing this puppet ministry. And my mom, same with her. Like, you know, she has her like stay-at-home work, and she's working, she's doing all of that. And on top of that, you know, she's writing all these books and stuff. And you know, that takes a lot of time, you know, to like do all of this stuff, and then it all comes down to this one product that you can pick up at the bookstore and just read it, and you know, get filled and blessed by it. And you know, just after that, you can take what you know, got in you from that book and just go out. So it's not even just us three, you know, like, I mean, it's just incredible. And then, for example, the pastor of the church building that we go to, like, God put a plan in his heart, and it was just incredible, because our church celebrated 25 years. Our church building celebrated 25-year anniversary this last Sunday. And I mean, they had like a huge, you know, like I don't know what the word is, but like they showed all, like, from the beginning, you know, this, moving from, you know, setting up like tables and chairs at a school to, you know, buying this building, to moving to this one, to adding on. And I mean, him and like, I think it was 6 others, you know, started all this. So I mean, those 7 people, you know, they were doing what God called them to do. So that's just more, and that's huge. Our church building now is huge, and I mean, they have a school and everything, and it's just incredible, like everything that has like happened. And they had crazy testimonies on the anniversary of just how many people have been impacted by that. So you have our pastor and, you know, these 6 other people that impacted all these people and changed their lives, and now they're, you know, living different and making a huge impact for Christ over here. And it's just like a domino effect, and it's incredible. And I mean, it's just amazing. And you know, it's grown, the church building has grown so huge. And how has that happened? I mean, over all that time, it took time. It's not like they were rich at all, you know. In the beginning, they had this much, they planned a budget and everything. Over time, it grew. Why did it grow? More money income. People were tithing. They were being faithful in tithing. So, I mean, that's all a huge, like, amount of people to be faithful in something that God says to do, and stepping out on His word and doing it. And, you know, that has impacted, you know, that, it's just incredible. And I mean, that's just a small example. I mean, I don't even know all the things that are going on. That's just, you know, I just talked about me, my parents, that's 3 people, pastor, and, you know, 6 other people. So that's like 10 people. And, you know, 10 people, God's using 10 people and making a huge effect, you know, through that. And, I mean, that's just 10 people. I mean, there's so many more. And, I mean, not even just, I mean, it's just incredible. And, like, I just want to encourage you guys, you know, to just stop listening to the enemy's lies, you know, that all Christians are not where they're supposed to be. They're down here when they're supposed to be up here. The good is here and the evil's here. I mean, even though there's a lot of evil, the evil's going to work out. I mean, it's all according to God's will. We don't have to understand it. We walk by faith, not by sight. So basically, I just want to encourage you all to, you know, just keep striving forward and taking up your cross, and, you know, just keep serving God and being close fellowship with Him. And, you know, you have no idea, you know, what impact you make. Even if you don't have, like, a ministry as far as, you know, like, evangelist or you're a prophet. I mean, your life is a ministry. That is huge. How you live is huge. I mean, you can say all these things about, you know, how awesome God is. I mean, but when they see God in you and through you, that is huge. So, I mean, you never know, like, who's watching and when they're watching. One day, you know, after service, after church service, my parents and I were walking out the doors, and I had just started, you know, really using Facebook at that time. And I had been posting, you know, words of knowledge, because I function in that gift. Words of knowledge that God gave me to post. And, you know, I was just doing, you know, serving God, doing what He said to do. And this guy I never even met, and he just came up to me. He's like, "Kid, you are incredible." And he basically, you know, saw everything I did, and that made a huge impact in his life. And, I mean, like, I wouldn't have ever known that. And, like, who's to say that there isn't other people that go to other church buildings that, you know, I've never seen, but I've made the same impact in their lives. I mean, you just never know. And it's just incredible. And the reason I'm saying all this is not at all to boast, but to encourage you. Because I feel that not only do you need to know the truth about, you know, how awesome, you know, how many things good and great are happening, and you just don't hear about it, and how, like, people are really serving God, and it's just incredible. It's not like, you know, we're down here when we're supposed to be up here. It's not. That's not even true. And the reason I give details on that is because when I'm, you know, really giving my time and my energy, you know, to serving God, you know, putting myself behind and serving God, and then, you know, I hear, like, you know, let me think of an actual example. Okay, so I was reading my Bible, or, I mean, that's not even just serving God. I mean, that's just doing God's will. And, I mean, you know, instead of, you know, doing whatever, I was doing this because I knew God wants me to, and of course I want to and stuff. But, you know, I was doing that, and, you know, and then my friend called, and she was working on a book that she was writing, and she read a passage to me. And, I mean, that was just so encouraging, because, you know, I'm, like, reading, like, spending my time with God, on top of that doing ministry work, and then I get a call from someone as I'm doing that, and they're doing the same thing. I mean, that just is so encouraging and exciting to me, you know, because, you know, just kingdom on earth and stuff, you know, and just serving God is it's just incredible. And so that's why I want to give all that, because I know, I've been there. I know how encouraging it is, to hear about what other Christians like you are doing and stuff. And it's just, I just want to give, you know, basically words of encouragement. And in no way did I exaggerate, I mean, or, you know, make up anything like that. I mean, this is just a few amount of the many, many, many that are just serving God. And I mean, we're all brothers and sisters. I mean, we all live, you know, like with the same, like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, another thing was my dad, he invited people to our church building. He made a bold move and gave out cards and stuff, and some said that they would actually come. So and you know, even if they didn't want to come, it opened the doors to, you know, conversation and stuff. And not even just right then and there. A few days later, like, my dad and this guy had a conversation about, you know, just a God-related conversation, to just sum it all up. And I mean, so, I mean, it's not like you're going to do it all, and it's not even going to make, you know, impact. It's not, I mean, it is, and it's just incredible. So yeah, I guess that's about it. So yeah, I just wanted to give you, you know, encouragement and stuff. It's just awesome, and I'm just so excited about seeing, you know, all this stuff that is, you know, changing. I mean, they said it like all the time, probably every generation, that this is the generation. But I mean, I'm telling you, this generation, I'm not saying this is the generation, like the huge, you know, like revival type of, you know, huge change and stuff. But I mean, this generation, I'm seeing so much everywhere I go. I mean, in public schools, in public, it's just incredible. And I mean, I can't base it upon, you know, what happened in 1912, you know, 100 years ago, because I wasn't there. I'm just saying there's so much incredible happening, you know, with God using us and stuff. And this generation is just so exciting. And actually, I'd want to share something, but I don't know if God wants me to. But, you know, yeah, I'm not even going to go there, but yeah, so definitely, yeah, so leave comments, you know, any testimonies. I mean, that would be awesome, because if people see the video and then see, you know, a testimony in the comments, that'd be incredible. And I'm just so glad that you're seeing this, because it's just so encouraging to hear about all the things that fellow Christians, your brothers and sisters, are doing. They're right beside you serving God. Because, I mean, it's not always going to be easy. You know, the road gets tough, because, I mean, but when we know that we're not the only ones, you know, doing it, you know, it's just very encouraging to hear about other people, you know, going through the same thing as you. And definitely not like serving God is all burdensome and stuff. Definitely not. I'm not saying that at all. But you know, you get the point. So yeah, God bless you guys, and thank you for watching.